Hey, what's up, everybody? Back with another video. So recently, I'm getting into human design, and so I thought I'd just talk about that. Um, Realizing that I'm a projector, um, which is that there's four different types in human design. Or is there five? There's a generator, manifesting generator, projector, and a reflector. I think that's the four types. Unless I'm missing one. If I am, sorry. I'm still learning, but I care more about myself and learning about myself. It's just so fascinating to me. Um, this is human design. Like everybody needs to know this information because it's who you are, and it will help you live a more successful life. I guess it will it will help you to realize like maybe where your faults or you know they have these undefined centers, um, and if yours is undefined, that means that you're absorbing the people's kind of energy around you, and that's influencing you in different ways. And so to recognize that it's not a bad thing, it's not good or bad, it just is. And I have a lot of undefined centers, so there's a lot of people that have influenced me in my life, and um, yeah, I guess just recognizing that. I think what comes from that though is wisdom, is what they say. So, once you've had a bunch of people's different energies kind of affecting your life, and then you realize that, then you can learn from it. And so I think like one of my abilities is to be able to maybe sense other people's energy and give them direction based on the energy that I'm feeling, because I have those undefined centers. When I do come into contact with somebody else's energy field, I can pick up on their energy. Um, Something like that. I'm still learning, but it's all just very fascinating stuff. And I'm just like diving into it head first because I love it. I'm reading the book from Paul Rudd, not Paul Rudd, Richard Rudd. I'm not reading this one yet. I'm gonna read this one next, Human Design Circuitry. And then there's the Revelation. That's the one I'm reading, which is I think like the first one, or the one based on like the body graph, which is this image here. It's kind of like Indian metaphysics. They have the seven chakras. In human design, there's kind of nine chakras, or nine kind of like energy centers, and they all do something different. But it's just I thought I would talk about it because I just find it so fascinating. I mean, who wouldn't want to learn about themselves and how their body works? But not everybody, that's a projector thing, I think, because not everybody does want to know that kind of stuff. Everybody should, but not everybody does, I guess. Um, Saguru actually says, we've been given this fantastic system, this body, and is capable of miraculous things that we can't even imagine. And yet we haven't even read the user's manual on it. We have no idea how it works. I mean, aside from doctors studying, well, this is the blood, and we can give this medication, whatever. I mean, that's all great, but so they talk about the throat center, for instance, and how in human design it can come from I think 5 different places. God, I'm gonna probably butcher this. Somebody's gonna know human design, gonna watch this, and they're gonna be like, they're gonna fact check me on everything. So take what I say with a grain of salt. This is more to like inspire you. I do think I'm speaking truth, but I may not have all the exact numbers. No, I think there's 9 gates for the throat center. And so depending on, all these characteristics make up who we are. So with these 9 centers, I think any one of them can be undefined, or defined. And so that makes so many different kinds of human beings possible right there. But then it gets more complex than that, where you've got different gates and different centers connect with different centers. And depending on which centers connect to which. So if you're connecting from the sacral to the throat, I think that's how they get the manifesting generator, and you manifest in a specific way through your voice or through taking action. And um, for instance, I have like a splenic authority, and so I should listen to my spleen more. I don't know. I'll have to try to tap into that. Maybe I do, but it's very subtle. And so I know my mind is kind of constantly going all the time. And if that's the case, then how am I able to hear my spleen? I'm not saying I don't. I just if I could tune into that, though, I mean, that's my survival mechanism. If I was ever to get on a plane or do a deal with a business partner, my spleen is going to speak up and say like, hey, I don't think you should get on that plane. But again, it's not going to be loud. So maybe it's best if I'm not listening to any podcasts or YouTube on the way to the airport or something like that. And also my the projector type of mine is like I need to wait for the invitation, which I haven't been. I don't. But it's certainly something to try. So you wait for the invitation for a relationship, which for a man in this world is kind of difficult, but not impossible. You wait for the woman to invite you out, which I'm already married, but I didn't when I married her, and we've had a bunch of issues and stuff. Not saying that that's, I think we had a karmic relationship, so I think that was kind of like destined. But even where to live, waiting for an invitation, somebody to invite me maybe to visit them somewhere for traveling, or to invite me to live with them, or invite me to live in their city. I don't know. I have to wait for the invitation. And there's so many other, there's a couple other invitations as well, but there's mainly like 4 invitations. And then the rest of it is kind of like your spleen and just listening to that. So, yeah, but, but also knowing as a projector that I'm not supposed to be a doer, which I feel like I've been conditioned by other people's. So my sacral is undefined, and because my sacral is undefined, other people are able to influence my sacral energy. And if somebody is a doer or a generator, they've got loads of energy, tons of energy, and they need to burn that energy every day. And if I'm dating that person or I'm hanging, those are my friends, I'm going to absorb that energy and become a doer. And it's like a lot of people in the world are doers. And, I've become a doer, but I need to be, even more recently, I've been getting messages that I'm like going to burn myself out if I'm pushing myself too hard, because I don't have my own energy. I have my own energy, but it's like, it's not anywhere on the level of like a generator. And it's just funny because we all have our own specific parts to play in the world. And no one is better than the other. We all need each other. I'm not good at doing detail stuff, and I really loathe doing like stuff like mowing the lawn, like menial tasks of like, yeah, it needs to be done, but I mean, it doesn't really. It's a societal thing that we've like, I don't know how it became a thing. Some people are just so meticulous with their lawns, and I feel like I've talked about this in another video, so I'm not going to go into detail about it again, but I hate doing it, and it's like a waste of energy. It's a waste of time for me. Let the grass grow. I mean, I guess the yard isn't as enjoyable. You're not going to be playing out in the yard if the grass is like 4 feet tall, but you know, probably be much better suited for a garden or something, and you don't have to mow that. You're actually growing food for yourself. Actually, in World War II, I think that a lot of the food and stuff was um, used for the war, and so it forced people at home to everybody's front yard was turned into a garden, and they all grew their own food that way. You know, so maybe we need to start going back to that. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, doing the menial tasks. It's I just don't like. I don't like doing it, and I don't have the energy to do it either. Was it another thing? I don't know. I feel like I'm talking a lot about myself. Maybe I should add projector in my title of my video so that other projectors can watch this and maybe they'll get something if their chart is similar to mine. And yeah. So projectors have like huge auras that go into other people's auras. And then because we have these undefined centers, we're just picking up energy all the time, depending on what your undefined centers are. And I'm not really sure on how I was given the title of projector, but I'm curious on like what determines a projector. Is it certain undefined centers? Is it a certain amount? Like if you've got 4 undefined centers, you're a projector. I don't know. I'm really so fascinated by this. I might take a course on it because I think this is the future of humanity, is just understanding ourselves on an individual level better. And it's also part of loving yourself. When you know yourself, you can love yourself in the way that you want to be loved because you know what you need and what you don't need. And they talk about that in the book as well. But it's so true. You know, I always thought, and I think this is part of it, but I always thought loving yourself, at least as of more recently, is like, well, you know, getting myself massages. Maybe I want to go get some ice cream at the store or something. But really, loving yourself is just taking care of yourself, taking care of your body. You know, that was another thing because of my spleen and the gates that are open. Exercise has to be a big part of my life. And since I've been exercising the last couple months or so, my life has gotten dramatically better. I mean, I was doing yoga before, but it's not like lifting weights. It's different. Both of them are good though. So I guess I was exercising, but there was a long time where I didn't exercise at all because I was like focused on business and like doing and like, what can I do? What can I accomplish? I want to build an empire, whatever. I don't know. I had big ambitions, but those ambitions weren't for me. I think as a projector, I don't actually need to do much. I just need to be me, and I can maybe build that empire. I don't even care if I build an empire or not these days, but once upon a time I did. But I think if I did want to build an empire or it was destined for me, I think it would just come to me. I wouldn't have to work for it. That doesn't mean, you know, making YouTube videos. That's maybe part of it, right? I need to make YouTube videos, but it's not hard work. I'm just talking. I'm just relaying knowledge that I've learned, and maybe I can help people along the way. So, anyways, my kids just got home, so I'll leave it there. But hopefully you found this insightful. Thank you. Have a great day.